Hi. Today we're going to do two different things. We're going to do trap bar, explosive deadlifts, and one-arm jerks. We're going to alternate sets for 50 minutes. I'm not keeping track of rest time. I'm not keeping track of how many sets I do. I'm not keeping track of reps. I'm not writing down my weights. I'm not writing down anything. I'm just gonna keep going up in weight on both of them until I don't want to anymore. And when 50 minutes is done, then we're done. So some of my programming, like if you tune into the last one, I had the start of every 30 seconds was a new set, and 3 rounds or 8 rounds for 3 complete sets of that. So that was very exact. Here's the exact amount of work, and here's the exact amount of rest. This is more different. We're working on power, so we're not in a hurry from one to the next. Okay, if we're working on power endurance, then we want to be kind of in a hurry from one to the next, but we're just working on the power. So no rush. You could even time your rest periods of like 5 minutes or something. You can do that too, but I'm not going to worry about it. And I like doing this kind of program where just kind of like whatever happens, happens. Okay, so I'm using the trap bar and a kettlebell. So you could also use a dumbbell. And if you don't have a trap bar, I'll show you a variation with 2 kettlebells. Since I know a lot of people have signed up to this because they have kettlebells or they use kettlebells. But I'll just go ahead and show you the kettlebell variation first, because I'm just going to be using the trap bar. So, and these will be 2 different weights, okay? So this one's 40 pounds, this one's 53. So for your trap bar deadlift, or actually your 2 kettlebell deadlift, at first, when you lift off the ground, I like to get a slow lift off, and then once I'm past my knees, then explode. Okay, some people you might see like ripping them right from the ground, ripping the barbell from the ground, ripping the trap bar right from the ground. I believe it's safer to have that explosive range be a little bit less range than the complete range of motion. Okay, I think your tendons can start to stretch. I think there's a higher risk of injury from doing it. Like if I was just to take these and just rip them right off the ground, rather than this way. So then don't go down all the way. Okay, so from the other side. Okay, so if you have 2 different size kettlebells, 2 different weights, switch which hand is doing heavy and light. They're going to be at your feet. They can be like right in the middle of your feet. That's why I like the trap bar, because you're inside of it. There's other reasons too, which I'll get into. But here, your back is flat. Don't let it round. Don't arch too much. Don't. It's nice and flat. Slow start. Okay. So your feet will be close. Up, and then let your elbows kind of bend up a little bit. Bend as you're coming up. You're coming up on your toes. I wouldn't leave the ground. I do. Maybe in the next video I'll show one where you do leave the ground, but for now, don't. Okay. So with the trap bar, I'm going to go ahead and start my set. Start the timer. I'm going to show you it this angle, I think. I'll switch up the angle, but I want to get them both in the shot here. So right now this has 140 pounds on it. That'll be what I'm using to start with. I haven't done any kind of warm up. What you saw was all I've done so far. And this is 40 pounds. So that'll be my warm up. So the trap bar, it's the same thing, except you have these wider handles. And for this today, I'm using the high handles. You can use either one. Okay. So even though I can keep going on those, I'm working on explosiveness, so I want to leave some power in the bank. Okay. From the front. I want to make sure my shoulders are driving towards my hips. My lats are contracting really hard. Like I'm trying to like push the bar backwards, like so everything's real contracted. So I'm kind of, my arms aren't obviously moving when I have the bar. That's the feeling, driving back. Okay, so slow. Then once I pass my knees, then really explode. Okay. Okay. And then with the kettlebell jerk, I'm gonna turn this back to the side. I think this will be, I might switch it around, but so the kettlebell jerk, we'll do just one arm at a time. And what kind of eludes people sometimes on the jerk is so when I'll clean it, I'll sink down a little bit, I'll drive up as hard as I can. While that bell's going up, I'm on my toes, and then I'll sink everything down. My arm will be straight while my knees are still bent, and then I'll raise up. Okay, and then you can absorb that way. So, okay. That one can take a little while to catch on to. Take your time. I'm going to go ahead and hit the timer. And 50 minutes. This is just like, it's a way that I like to train a lot of times where I don't have everything written in stone. I just know that I'm doing that and then that, back and forth, going up in weight, don't know where I'll stop. That's what's happening. So 50 minutes. Okay. Well, I'm in between sets. I'm going to add some more weight. I'm going to add 90 pounds to this. So if you're doing these along with me, make sure that's a safe jump. This is a safe jump for me. So I'm not saying you should just add 90 pounds. You should still be in a pretty lightish medium range. I'll try that range next. So I'm not in any hurry here. And I often wouldn't have these so close to each other, just in case you have the kettlebell overhead and you stumble a little bit, you don't want to trip. But so I can just stay in the shot. This is how I'm doing it for today. So this first kettlebell, warm up 40 pounds, nice and easy. So we'll do the hard style clean this time. So that means you're upright, my glutes and abs are tense. Kettlebell ends up being over the hip and this chin, fist under the chin. So dip that. Put it down, even out, other hand. No rush. So if you heard my breathing was kind of a sport style kind of breathing with a hard style kind of action. So by the hard style, I mean the rack is up here. Sport style rack, the elbow rests on the hip. You can do it that way too. But for, maybe I'll switch it up a little bit, but I think I'm pretty much sticking with the hard style rack today. Yeah, I'll just stick with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and move up and wait on this one next to. So now this one's 20 kilograms. It's 44 pounds. So still easy, still nice jump. I don't care what the clock says, not in a hurry, staying relaxed. I am gonna drop the shirt though. I know I've become almost invisible against the white wall, but I don't like working out with a shirt on. So, give a little chalk. So now this is 230 on the bar. Nice and slow to start. Okay. In between sets, I'm shaking out, relaxing. So the breathing on that one, you do want to do the hard style breathing on that one. So I'll inhale, go down, and exhale just that last bit where my power is coming from. I'm exhaling. I'm inhaling when I'm doing my power on the jerks. Okay, I hope that's not too confusing, but I'm trying to show you two strategies kind of at the same time. So you inhale, grab it. Put it down. Okay. Going for power. So I'm not trying to wear myself out on one set. Not in a hurry to get to the next set. Okay. So I'm going to stick with 3 each for a little bit. And then I'm going to eventually go to 2 reps for the kettlebell. And then maybe just 1 rep as I'm moving up. Like I said, I don't know how high I'm going today. I'm going to kind of feel it out. But I'll probably do something similar with the trap bar. So again, if you just have 1 kettlebell, you can still go. Okay, so that'll really work your side over here. And you can also do this way in front. Just this like high pull. You can do that too. So kettlebell is in front, or in between your feet rather. Okay, looks the same. It's that same starting posture. Drag that shoulder towards the hip. See those muscles contract? Okay. You can do that way too. So kind of like trying to give you a range of options. Okay, so part of the freestyle isn't just like, this is exactly how you do it. This is how I want your posture to be. I'm not saying like, this is okay. Don't do that. Don't do that. You will see sometimes people deadlifting that way. Okay, they'll have this rounded back and they're even like some at like the higher level, you'll see that. And experts can have different opinions, but what I'm telling you is erring on the side of safety. Okay, safety and strength to me is the same thing, and it's a more transferable skill to have that back straight. If you're grappling with somebody, so if I'm picking up the kettlebell like this way, if you're grappling with somebody, you just stand up. There's different ways that we'll use the trap bar. At other times, like if you saw the other videos where we have one leg forward, so we can do trap bar deadlifts that way. But today, we're not going that far. I hope I'm just going up another 2 kilograms here. Nice and easy. I'm going to stick with the same weight for another set on this one. I'm going to add 20 pounds. But that's the best thing before you see how I can turn it on the next one. All this like shaking out, so you'll have all this power. And it's kind of so why these 2 techniques in the same day? Why did I pick these 2? Well, your jerk is going to depend a lot on your leg drive. Okay, you want your jerk to be mostly legs. Just get that momentum up. Okay, so one thing that you can do as a practice is okay, I'm not pushing it up, it's just going up with my leg. Okay. Probably like her like impacting a little bit, but I was trying to show you just like get that bell flying for your jerks. Get it flying and duck under. The more your legs do, the better. So we have this, which is now 250 pounds. That's 48 pounds. So it's a big difference in weight, but it's a similar leg drive, right? I'm coming from here, right? Same leg drive, but under a lot more weight. So I'm teaching myself to jerk more by loading up my legs even more without my arms having to do 200 plus 300, whatever I get to today. So back to the jerks. think I'll stick with 2 now. Okay. Keep them fresh. It's not like 2 is hard. It just feels like it's time to do 2 now. I'm not trying to push because I don't know how high of weight I'm going to be using. So I don't want to burn out too early, which I won't, but this makes sure. So especially at the beginning, we have 37.5 minutes left. Still getting loose, getting used to it. It's all, think of it as practice, okay? So that's another reason why we don't have to keep track of sets and reps every single workout, because it's practicing. I'm practicing driving through my legs, okay? It's like what I'm really trying to focus on, okay? So if I want to get better at jerking, do you see how getting better at the explosive trap bar deadlift is going to help me with that? Okay. It's a very similar movement. That's how that's why it's transferable from one to the other. So if you're using the 1 kettlebell, 2 kettlebell, just kind of like stay with me on which one, or if you're only doing jerks, you could just practice your jerks the whole time, okay? There's nothing wrong with that too. But just like really thinking about that leg drive. That's kind of the focus of today, that explosive power transferring through your legs, through your arms, okay? And it's a little bit different because here I'm getting the shrug, where you don't shrug your jerks, you keep your shoulder down. So that's a key difference. But I want to have that, build that power in the traps too. Okay. Get a little different angle here. I think the other angle is probably better, but. And you may see when I kind of go down like this, I flex my spine and then tighten up. That's kind of just like my thing. It may work for you. It helps me to kind of like set in and get tight, but you can also just start off that way. But to me, I can kind of like relax a little bit and then really pull myself into it. And you hear it, oh, listen. Okay, that's the bar pulling up against the weights. So that's when you know that there's already a bit of a load before I take off. So I'm not just that sound and then I'm going up immediately. Okay, that's a key point too. Not saying never do that, but especially when it gets heavier, just err on the side of safety. And here I'm gripping pretty tight, as tight as I can really. And I'm also contracting my triceps. Contracting everything, really. Okay, stick at 3. And back to loose, all that tension, explosion, and then loose. Tense, loose. Okay, martial arts. Sometimes you gotta be on real tense, you're about to take a strike, tense, and you gotta loosen up. If you're too tight, you'll wear out too fast. So you wanna be able to take that hit and then relax and be back at it. When you're grappling, you gotta know when to be tense and when to relax. And that's how you can prolong your endurance much more efficiently. Because nobody can just hang on as tight as they possibly can and have it be just as strong for a long time. But you can learn how to grapple for a long time. Because even if somebody can run a marathon, so the guy that just set a marathon world record, maybe he gets in a boxing match and he gets tired in just a minute. He gets in a grappling match, he's smoked in a minute. Okay, it's a different thing. But being able to just control that tension and relaxation, it's super important. I think you get it. Try this next time, kind of get out of the way of this other kettlebell here. I don't remember if I did this weight or not yet. All this jabbing. I think I did, didn't I? I'm gonna go up. So I just went up another 2 kilograms. So I'm just at 53 pounds now. So I started at 40, went to 44, 48, and now I'm at 53 pounds. No rush. I'm just gonna like work my way up. Okay. I'm doing it again. I'm doing a mixture of hard style posture with sport style breathing. Okay, so hard style breathing would be, it's almost backwards for me on this one. So it's just better to inhale on the way up, I believe. It's kind of, it feels weird for me to, so basically be exhaling on the way up. So it's not wrong, it's just, it's a different thing. So. That way. Okay. Makes sense? I think I'll stick with the 250 again when I get to it. And I'm going to move up to 57 for the jerks. No rush in between. When you're working on power, take your time. You can even take 5 minutes between sets. So since it's kind of different, kind of the same, kind of different, my shoulders, my triceps, my pushing power through my arms is getting a little bit of a break when I'm doing, from the time I finish doing these, do those, then get back to it. And so I'm kind of preserving that way. And since this is only, now I'm at 57 pounds, and that's at 250 still, I'm getting break from that 250 by just doing 57. Okay, you see how they complement each other? I'll try this angle here, see if I want to give you this nice good angle so you can see my structure and everything as good as possible. So I'm going to add just another 10 pounds to this. I don't want to add so much that I'm starting to go slow. Okay. Sometimes I do work up to that. I may do that today. Work up to where it starts getting slower. But I'll be still trying to move it fast. And I'll still be exploding at the top. I'm not going to get so heavy that I can't do that. Those last two explosive ones. from the after the full one. Make sense? So I switched it up. I've talked about it before, but the different ways to grab the kettlebell. So either way, if you look at my spine, my hips over my knees, I want to make sure my shoulders don't get under my hips. I want to make sure I'm back this way, driving my shoulder to my hip. And I can use this grip. If you're having trouble like with impact while you're learning that, I've went over how to minimize that before. But if you have the bell this way, when you're gripping like this way, because some people will recommend have the kind of out at this 45-degree angle here and then turn in. That way you're kind of like pre-stretching your external rotators, and it's okay. So, but you'll see me switch it up, but I also like just this way. Not because of the impact, but just because it just starts to feel better. But once you start doing like more cleans and clean and jerk, some people can come down straight this way. Sometimes it might like hurt your elbow. So when you're lowering it, your thumb goes towards your body. And that way it can get like this natural bend in your elbow as you're dropping it. So it's usually the safer way to drop. Okay, no rush. I'm not keeping track of how long it is in between sets. I don't care how many sets I do. I'm just doing it for 50 minutes. We got 26 minutes to go. See thumb in. Oops. So when you're dropping, go thumb in. Okay. Feeling both out. I feel like if the more you get to know the kettlebell, like we start off with rules a lot of times. And then once you learn the rules, you know how it's okay to break the rules. Okay. So freestyle doesn't just mean I'm cool with people doing stuff that's, you know, in terrible form. It's like you're free to make it your own. Okay, it's fluid, it's free, freedom. You can express your style of kettlebell lifting however you want. So I'll move up next time. So now this kettlebell is 66 pounds, 30 kilograms. So I went from 57 to 66. I'm at 260 on the trap bar. So remember, you work with what you got. You can do that if you just have the one kettlebell and you're doing these. Try it in between your legs. Up. Remember that one? Okay. So work with what you got. Key points, regardless, are make sure. So what's wrong here? My shoulders, right? I want to make sure they're driving towards my hips. Okay. I'm going to contract my lats, help keep my shoulders safe in the socket. Firm grip on the kettlebell, firm grip on the trap bar, whatever it is. Okay, again, shoulder safety, back safety. Once you cross your knees, to me, this is like the power zone, like this position right here. I can touch my knees. Okay, people are built different, but this feels pretty powerful. You'll see the wrestlers. Sometimes wrestlers are down here. It's the same thing, right? Okay, except having one foot forward. See how it transfers? Okay, that's the whole point. Sometimes I'll do the trap bar with 1 foot forward, but this time not really, because it's coming up on the toes, and it's better this way for this technique. No rush in between. Just go when you're ready. And I weigh about 160 for reference. So it's about 100 pounds more than my body weight. Still a good ways away from my max, but still feels fine. I'm gonna add another 10 pounds. Shaking out, loose. Shake out the hands. And some trunk twists. Like you're trying to shake water off your leg. Everything loose. You want to go like tight, or keep everything tight. You want to be able to loosen up. Well, control your breathing. It's okay if you're taking longer sets than me, or longer rests rather. About between 1 to 3 for your power range is about right. We'll work power endurance, which you could do 100 reps, 1,000 reps, whatever. But when this is in more power, not so much the endurance. We're not too worried about the endurance, but you build more power, you lift more weights, you get stronger, more powerful that way. And then when you go back to your endurance with the lighter weight, it will improve that also, because it becomes even less of your 1 rep max. You get stronger. You need to lift more weights. You can get stronger lifting the lighter weights in different ways, but kettlebells, to me, they are the best tool for power endurance that exists. Okay, if you want just strength, it's probably the barbell. Okay, I like the trap bar because you can walk with it. Okay, you're inside of it, so it's safe. You can use handles that are a little bit higher. So you can use these lower handles too, just flip the bar in. And I use both. I'll usually alternate. If I'm writing it down, I'll say high handles this time. Next one, I did high handles last time. I'll do low handles this time. It's very. I think it's easier to stay safe in the power range for these explosive movements than a bar. So I think it has a lot of advantages over a straight bar. And to have 280-pound kettlebell, they exist, but it's like you don't really need it. We have them up to 159, and so I want this subscription that you have, the freestyle kettlebell training, have body weight stuff on it too. Okay, we'll do some barbell stuff, we'll do some trap bar stuff, we'll do some maybe some medicine ball stuff. I don't want to use too many different things, but you should have a basic spectrum and understand why we're using what. So why am I not using the 2 kettlebells? Because it's Freestyle Kettlebell Club. Well, we have pairs up to pretty heavy, pairs up to 88 pounds, and then pairs up to 97 pounds rather, and then we just have 1 of each. And you can do that, but to me it's just easier to load it. It keeps your hands away from your body. You can have it's just a little bit easier to go heavy with good form. This is, where are we? 66 pounds. So you saw me take a step back. I'm not beyond making a mistake, but I think the problem was I was looking at so I can see myself in the shot. So that can be distracting. I don't recommend you train in front of a mirror. There's no mirrors in here except in the bathroom. Just like feel, but there's nothing wrong with taking a video of yourself and then looking at the video because you think, oh, my back is straight, right? My back feels straight. Oh, no, it's not straight. Okay. And you might not be able to tell unless you have someone there with you or if you have the video. Now this will be 70 pounds. And this is 250, 270. The next time on this one, I'm going to go 280. So no rush in between. We have just over 15 minutes left. I don't know how high we're going in weight, how high I'm going. I hope I've explained well enough that, like, regardless of your equipment, that when I'm doing that one, if you just have the kettlebells, whether you have a pair of them or you have just one, you understand what to do with me. Okay, maybe we're just doing that. Okay, maybe it's this one. Keeping that real tight here. You know, you don't want to be like, you want to be like straight up. Whether it's you're doing one at a time, it's a really great exercise to have an imbalanced load. 70 pounds. This one's 79. I'll do that next time. So you gotta think like, well, what have you been doing? Are you training martial arts? Did you have a really tough kickboxing session, or your shoulders shoulders tired from a lot of punching? Were you grappling a lot, so your you're tired from pulling. So if you feel like you've been pulling a lot, you need like a little bit of break from that, then maybe you're pulling a little bit less here and pushing a little bit more to balance out. I've been doing a lot of pushing. I did a real long like plank walk, like on this bridge, like my hands and feet on the opposite sides of these walking bridges, going uphill. It was slick, so I'm like downhill. Some of it's like flat, some of it's uphill, going up and downhill. Just on my hands and feet, scooting along the rails of this bridge. So I was doing like a lot of pushing, filming other videos where I'm doing a lot of pushing. So I feel like I want to maybe show off a little bit and push a lot, but I really felt like I needed to do more pulling. Okay, so that's where I am. Maybe you're at the opposite end. Okay, with this system, I'm trying to really teach how to make it your own. Okay, it's not, this is the exact workout that you should do. Okay, there are good programs that can be set in stone, but I want to teach you how to feel free and think for yourself and do what's right for you at the moment, rather than think, oh, this piece of paper, this guy on TV says I should do this. 280. I think I'll go to 300 next time. So 11 minutes left. So I want people to be able to understand how to do these workouts that are just smokers, where you're really giving all you can, power endurance, mental endurance. It's tough the whole time, very little break, but you have good form during the whole thing. And also just, and you're doing exactly this every 30 seconds. These exact exercises every 30 seconds for 12 minutes or whatever. And also, I'm just gonna come in, get a couple lifts done, okay? So this is a total body workout. Everything's working. This one's 88, I'll do that next time. No rush. Just loosen up. Breathing under control. Okay, since I'm moving up in weight, still a bit from my max. So I could have done more than one with the 79. One each, okay. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of pushing, so I'm not too worried about that. I want to do more pulling. Okay. Okay. Showing you some breathing stuff here too. It's like being loose. So I see 8 minutes left. Still not in a hurry. I may stick with 300. I felt myself slowing down a little bit. Want to make sure I'm powering through it rather than grinding. Okay, I'll get to grinds probably next time. Grinds being not using momentum, not using power, just strength, or just coming up slow. Of course, you still want to be powerful. I'll explain more differences, but so depending on what kind of stuff you're used to, you might feel like you're in a hurry to go to the one thing to the next. Come see now, like less than 7 minutes. So how am I going to get as high as I was wanting to with the kettlebell? I don't know. I was hoping to get at least 106. I should have time for that. But if I don't get to it because the time runs out, fine. If you want to go over, fine. If you want to make it for an hour instead of 50 minutes, fine. If you want to do 40 minutes, fine. There's nothing special, particularly special about 50 minutes, except it's a good amount of time to get in a good amount of sets, however many it was, to practice without going overboard. That's about it. 88 pounds. That last one was a hard style. I didn't think about it until after it happened. Okay, so once you're used to this stuff, you'll find the appropriate technique for the moment. You should ideally know what you're going to do first, but once you understand the different methods of the breathing, the posture, I believe the right thing can happen at the moment. So where, I'll leave it at that. So this is 97. Wait till your breathing calms. Okay, you can kind of push it. Sometimes I'll say, do your next set just before you're ready. Okay, whatever that means to you, but like just before you're ready. But when you're working power, a potentially dangerous amount of weight, you want to make sure you're dialed in. Still with me? Maybe you're doing less sets than me. Maybe you're doing more. It's okay. Anything, don't rush from one to the next when you're working power. Now, if you have a bell that's the weights, it's not really a challenge for you, then you'll probably be taking less break, have more sets, less break. It's okay. Right? That just means you're working more on your power endurance. But think of the whole thing as a practice. Each rep, the best one ever. 97. This is 106. That'll be the weight that I stop at, regardless. I don't know if the time will run out on me first. But it looks like I'll have one more set each. 2 minutes to go. I don't really recommend stretching between sets, although some people may. But just keeping your arms moving. Keep them like, if you're not lifting something, just keep them loose, get them loose, get that tension out. Like, just shake that muscle around like it's fat. Like, what frequency is that? Like, does one need a different frequency than this one to get them shaking? That's an interesting thing to get into. I'm not going to dig too deep into that, but see what you need to do to get to relax and have the triceps flop around. Last set of these. Timer may run out on me, but I'm still going to get to the 106. And let the beeper go, just keep it from distracting me. See, what happens sometimes is you're like, okay, I'm just gonna get my 20-minute workout in. I'm just gonna work on jerks. It's fine. You're just working on your deadlifts. It's fine. 20 minutes. You devote to just one thing. It's okay. That's your workout. And you kind of get into it, and it's like that timer goes off, and feel like you got a little bit of unfinished business, and you go a little bit longer. So that's why a lot of times I just recommend set the timer for a certain amount of time. Don't worry about writing stuff down, how many sets you did, what weight you got to. Just build, practice. Think of it as a practice. That got a little crazy there at the end. You want to make sure your elbows don't come out and stuff. Keep it nice and tight. That's 106. And like I said, I weigh about 160. So this isn't my max, but not bad. That was pretty much what I wanted to get to today. I didn't want to say it, because I didn't know what I would get to. I didn't know how it would feel because I've been doing pushing. So thanks for tuning in. I have a lot to share. And that way, that's why I'm so confident in saying I will continue to put out one video per week for the foreseeable future. Is this a forever thing? I doubt it, forever, but a year? Yeah, or maybe 2 years, I don't know. But for the foreseeable future, that's what's happening. $5 a month. It's, I appreciate your $5 a month. And I intend for this to be the best source of kettlebell training on the planet, really all around training. Okay, that's the goal, but focus obviously is the kettlebells mostly, but as you watch more, you see the system unfold, and it unfolds more and more and more and more. Oh, you like that part? What's still unfolding over here, but you're focusing on this other part? Cool. That's why I'm trying to show you how to make it your own. That's what I want.